So we're back on another video, and we are going to get to this last part, which is the mobile effect. So I'm going to go ahead and close this static data folder here, and I'm going to go up here to the mobile effects. And then to show you some information really quick down here, you'll have the example duration, example pulse, and then the main. This is the mobile effect library engine, I guess, the state-based stuff that will make your mobile effects work. Okay. And it also loads all your mobile effect folders, as you can see, bows and everything else. But if you want to just find some general information on what the optional flags are for the keys, like end on movement, resistible, persist through death, if somebody dies, does the buff stay on them, things like that. All right. So with that stated, we're going to go to the skills tab here, down to the bard, and then we're going to open up this Azura's Blessing. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do File, Save As, and this is going to be, if you look, our gotta think of the name of our ability. It's a dance off. Okay, I had to, So let's call this dance off. We'll name this dance off. Oop, need that to be capital O. All right, so what I'm doing here is now we have a new mobile effect called dance off. It has an on enter state when we first have this mobile effect applied to us. This is where we're going to write all of our code to make everybody dance and whatnot. So what I want to do is, this first thing is I'm going to clean this up here. We're going to get rid of everything in the on enter state. We're going to get rid of this target. Invalid, we don't need that. The usability, we don't need this either, so we're going to scroll down to the comma, and we may or may not use the enter state. We probably won't need it, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything out, and you should be left with a empty function now. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to drag and find this dance animations list so that we have a list of animations that we can randomly draw from, right? So in order to find this AI dancer, what I would do is hit Control P and type in AI dancer, and you'll see the AI dancer file come up here. All right, and then if you scroll down around to line 44, we are going to copy from there to here the entire table, right? So let's copy this and go back to our dance off. And what I want to do is up here, I'm going to make, hitting Control V, and then if you take and highlight this and then hit Control right bracket, it'll push everything to the right. And then at the end of this table, we need to add a comma because we are inside of a table here of dance off, right? So you can see how on enter state and on exit state, has a comma between each table entry. So this dancing animations, I'm just going to go ahead and rename it to dancing animations. Okay, so now when I want to refer to this list right here, I can say the first thing I want to do here on line 20 is we'll type in local to make a local variable of which animation equals math.random. Oop, my bad. Equals self, SELF dot dancing animation. I'm just going to copy this so I got it all spelled right here. Sometimes I typo and it's no fun, so we'll just copy and paste that right there. And so what I want to do now is inside, I want to add two brackets here, and then I want to grab a random index. And so how we're going to do this is do math.random, and then inside of here, do, let's see, pound sign, self.dancing animations. And what pound self.animations does is it gets the number of entries in a single index table like this and returns the number of entries. So now I'm going to pick a random number between 1 and the size of this array, right? So now it's going to pull a random animation. And then the next thing we want to do is that I don't remember the actual play animation code, but what I could do is hit Control Shift F, and then I can type in play Annie and hit enter. And I should eventually scroll down and start seeing some code here, play animation. You can see it all right here, right? So I just want to copy this real quick. And then we're going to go back to dance off. And then I'm going to paste this right here real quick. Okay. So this is the object that you would like to play the animation. The object that we are passing is the self dot parent object, just like you can see spelled here, parent obj. And so the self parent is the object that is receiving the mobile effect, which is us using the ability. So now what this is going to do is this is going to play an animation alarmed, and we don't want to play that animation because we've already randomly rolled the witch animation, right? And so the very last thing that we need to do when you enter a mobile effect, if you don't end it, it's stuck on your character. And then if you don't have an on stack and ways of removing it, your mobile effects won't work anymore. So simply we just end mobile effect, and you need to pass the root through that because that's you who created it. So at this point, if I was to save this, none of this would work in game, right? I mean, I could reload globals, and I'll show you why this doesn't work. Okay, bring up skills. Let's go to dancing. We still got our ability here. Let's just click it. And nothing. This dance off ability is not in the globals. And the reason why is because inside the skills table here, we have a main Lua. The mains are the ones that basically add the namespace or the ability to the globals by requiring the file and throwing it into globals. So really, we put ours, I believe, in the Bard, right? Yep, and there's dance off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go down to the Bard section here, grab this provoke, right? We'll just copy it. And then I'll paste. And we'll change provoke to the name of the file, which is dance off. Okay. And to verify that our dance off file is being loaded here, what I'm going to do is just for now, I'm going to type in print, we are here. And to really check if the global's showing up, if this file's being popped into memory, when you do a reload globals, let's take a look at the dedicated server here. And then let's go in game. And I'm going to close this. And then we will reload globals. And if we look at the console, you will see that we are here, right? So we know that now it should be available. So let's go ahead and try our ability. And now we do a random dance. We'll wait for the cooldown here. And we'll see if, because remember we made it 15 seconds. Okay, and then looks like we're doing the guitar solo. Okay, so now what we're missing is the fact that we could do a skill gain, right? And so what I would do is first we don't need this print statement anymore. Try to clean these up whenever you can, otherwise your console will be full of stuff. And so what we want to do now is do a skill check, right? But the question is how do you check a skill? And it's pretty easy as it sounds. I'm going to hit Control Shift F and type in check skill. And then you will see that we have a whole bunch of different examples that will come up here that are different things that call check skill chance, check skill, self-parent object, difficulty, things like that, right? So we'll go back up to the beginning here and find any check skill. We'll just grab this one. So we got check skill chance, musicianship. Let's go back to our dance skill here. And then we'll paste the check skill chance in, and we got to change this to our new skill name. Does everybody remember the name of it? Dancing. Okay. So, if check skill chance, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the dance. Okay. Otherwise, if you do not pass your dancing, you will not do the dance, right? So I think our dancing skill is 0. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And let's hit enter real quick, and we'll reload globals. A lot of reloading globals, babies. You'll get used to it. So let's hit their dance ability and see what happens. Okay, I didn't dance, but I did get a skill gain. Okay. What we could do here now is, now that we've got a failure, we can do an else case. What happens when it fails? Well, self, parent object, system message, your dancing skills suck. Too bad. Try again. You know, you can put whatever you want there, right? But that's just kind of funny because we're doing this video. You'd never do this in production, right? But if you're testing, you might as well have some fun, right? So let's go ahead and save all that. We'll go back in the game, and you guessed it, reload globals. And if you're wondering how I'm typing it in, you can hit enter and then press up or down to reuse commands that you've already typed in, right? So it's just easier to do that. Or make a, you could do like /custom, just to show you ways of doing this. And then type in reload globals without the slash, and we'll make it we'll just make it this little bag right here, right? And so now I can just click this and do reload globals. All right. Anyways, enough showing off here. Let's see if we get that message. Yep, it says your dancing skills suck too bad. Try again. All right. So I mean, technically, right now we do have a working dancing skill. The only thing we need to add now is it affecting everybody around you, right? And that uses object searching. And so I'm going to get rid of that on exit state right there because we don't need that, right? And so I think what I'm going to do, since this has already gotten long enough, is that we're going to add this in the next video. But right now, technically, without adding that stuff in, we have a working skill. We've went from adding it, creating the action button here, creating the mobile effect that we just did, and getting skill gains. So now players could actually play your dancing skill and use it in the game. So let's move on to one more video. I know the series got kind of long, but object searching might take a little bit of explaining, right? So now that you know how to do these basics, we'll move on to one more thing, and we'll be good. So I will see you in the next video.